Hello everybody, Lotus for Life here, bringing you guys a brand new deck profile this time around. It is my Underworld deck profile. I've been meaning to get around to doing this. This is roughly the same deck. It's got some changes since then that I played in the Underworld mirror match in the one of the duels against my friend a few months ago. I can't remember how long ago it was exactly, but me and him played an Underworld mirror match, and this is roughly the same deck that I used. Again, I've made some changes because I've gotten some new cards since then, and honestly, I really like this deck. It's really powerful, a lot of really strong fire and air based attacks, has a deadly, almost auto-win card if the duel drags on for too long, and just so many other good points about it. So I'm going to go ahead and stop yammering on and get on with the deck profile. So first and foremost for the front line, I have Kaor, Takinam, and good old Rofar, Forceful Negotiator. So why these three in particular? So Kaor is just a straight up beater. He's 70 HP, fire, 3 music counters, has an okay effect, it's super specific, but however, really honestly, the 3 music counters is really nice for being able to just, you know, use music is one of the big things. So Kaor is really awesome for having in the front line. If you do have his retrain, which I unfortunately do not, and his retrain of course is Kaor the Fierce, much better card. You lose the music counters, but however, Kaor the Fierce has freaking Fire 10. That is amazing. So if you do have Kaor the Fierce, play him instead of just regular old Kaor. But however, if you don't, like me, you can just use regular old Kaor. So also I'm playing Rofar, Forceful Negotiator. This guy is really cool. He has really good overall stats. Fire, air, earth, so 3 out of the 4 elements. The only one he doesn't have is water, and honestly, that's more than likely because most Underworlders do not have water. Like, there's only really like 3 that do have water. So he has really good stats, 75 power, like health, not power. He has 75 health. That is the most out of all my frontliners, and it's granted only a 5 difference, but still absolutely amazing. He can just plow through your opponent's board and sweep them real quick. He has very good stats. The biggest issue I have with this guy is that he must be the attacker if he can be. As his effect says, Rofar must move into an adjacent occupied location if able. So if my ruling knowledge is correct, that means he must attack if it's possible. Which is a bit annoying, but however, it's okay at the same time. It's just kind of he's still a really good card. It's worth playing, is what I'm trying to say. And then we have good old Takinam, the Shadow Knight, aka Best Girl 2009. I think that was when Shadow Knight came out. Anyways, so Shadow Knight, really good stats, 70 HP again, like all the frontliners in my deck here has 70 or more HP. That is really powerful. So your opponent's gonna have to really whittle down that energy. Her stats are kind of meh, like low courage, low speed, well not low speed, but low wisdom, pretty decent speed, and pretty decent power. I actually have the standard one from the packs. That one has more power, but like less than every other stat, so this one's obviously just better than everything else. Fire and air, really good elements for the deck to have. Strike 10, and then you can make it to where she can be treated as having the first attack. So if you happen to have a really good attack that would do 10 or more damage, that or like a crappy one, you can use her effect, get rid of a music counter off of her, and then make it to where her next attack does 10 extra damage due to it being technically the first attack. Very good card overall. Swift 2 is also pretty nice. I like it a lot. And then for the battle gear on Kaor, I have a file driver. I almost feel obligated to give him a file driver. The file driver gives him Fire 5. While it's not as good as the Fire 10 that the Kaor the Fierce has, like, even if I had the Kaor the Fierce, I would still have the Vile Driver on him, because then you'd have Fire 15, and that would just be stupid. Like, holy crap, could you imagine that? Anyway, so the Vile Driver, very much helpful for Kaor, just lets him get on that more damage. Very good card. for him. And then next up for the one on Takinam, I have the Phobia Plates. This card is pretty cool. Basically, it makes it to where challenges made against the equipped creature fail. So your opponent like tries to use a stat challenge or something, fail. The biggest thing about that is because Takinam's stats are kind of just meh. So really, honestly, this card really helps counter that and make it to where you don't have to worry about the stat challenges that you're going to be losing all the time. Normally, this card makes it to where obviously you don't lose all the stat challenges that your opponent uses against you. Also, equipped creature takes 10 less damage from Mujic. Very, very good. Your opponent might try to whittle her down with a Mujic, so being able to protect her a little bit by giving her like an extra 10 HP, kind of, sort of, not really, is really, really nice, and I just really like this card a lot overall. And then finally, on good old Rofar, I have the Drill Dozer Customized Rig. This gives him 10 more energy and then another 10 energy if he has Earth, which he does. So that gives him effectively 20 more energy, making him 95 energy. That is so insane. And for a creature that, again, to my knowledge, must be the attacker if possible, that is so good. He's going to be able to just run into any battle without a care in the world and have 95 HP and just be like, ha, you are going to have the hardest time killing me. That is so incredibly good for Rofar. I like it a lot. This card is amazing. I wish I had more of it. Drill Dozer. It's such a good card. Okay, so that's my front lineup. For the middle, I have Blades. I just absolutely love saying that name. And good old Kiryu. So, Blades, the cool thing about Blades is that, first and foremost, he has really good stats, 60 energy, really high power, really high courage. His wisdom and speed is kind of lacking, but oh well. And then fire and air is also really nice. And again, like, the biggest thing about him, though, is his effect. If an attack played by Blades would do 0 damage, it does 15 instead. So therefore, you don't care if you don't have the right attributes for an attack with him, or you fail a stat challenge or stat check or something with him, because instead of doing 0 damage, you're doing 15. Like, there are some attacks that you don't care if you win the stat challenge or not, because you're going to be doing a heck of a lot more damage than you would be if you did it, which is just really, really cool. This guy's a beater and is really, really good. And then we got Kiryu, the good old fallen ruler of the overworld turned into the leader of the underworld. I still don't entirely know the full story. In fact, actually, I don't think we ever got the full story of that whole thing or deal with him. Anyway, so Kiryu is a really cool card. And honestly, I would love to put him in the front line, especially considering his effect. But however, due to the cards I have in the front line, I felt like that it would much be better for him in the back, well, in the middle at least. So he has Fire and Earth, which is pretty nice. Really good stats overall. 65 Courage, 80 Power, 30 Wisdom, 65 Speed. Hopefully yours has better stats than mine, but mine has pretty average stats to my knowledge. And I think 60 Energy is his max. It might be 65. I'm not entirely sure. Somebody clarify that on for me. So the cool thing about Kiryu is that when he defeats a monster in battle, he gets a counter on him, and all your other creatures get 10 more energy for every counter on him. That is really cool. So it can make, for instance, your 95 Rofar into 105 after just one battle. That is really cool. Now the downside is it's only for your other creatures. Kiryu himself does not get the bonus energy, which is incredibly annoying because honestly, he and Blades have a lot lower energy compared to Takinam, Kaor, and Rofar, but however, still, 60 is nothing to laugh at. Like, it's still a really good amount of energy, so he's still going to be able to take quite a few hits. Now then, for the battle gear on Kiryu, since he has Fire and Earth but he's missing one, I have the Sandstorm Shroud. This gives him air whenever he's in battle. This card really, really helps out, makes him have air so that my air attacks can be used with him. Really, really good battle gear for him in this deck. And then for Blades, I have the good old Unk of Kensep. So honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I put this on him because I wasn't sure what else to put on him. So what the Ankh of Kinship does is Blades does an additional 5 damage to creatures with no elemental types. And with a lot of creatures having expend effects or like just losing elemental types and stuff like that, being able to do 5 additional damage to them, so like for instance if an attack played by him would do 0 damage, he does 15 plus the 5, which is really, really cool. Or wait, would that resolve in reverse? I don't know. But anyways, a really good card for him overall, just being able to kill those other creatures faster. If anybody can think of a better card to give him, I would be very, very happy. But, I was honestly thinking of like the Mind Prism, but like, I don't know, it's just 10 extra energy. That doesn't really do much, kind of, not really, kind of, sort of. The Mind Prism's still one of my favorite battle gear. But anyways, as for the final card, I have Stelgar Officious Mutation. This is the guy that I was talking about whenever it comes to the auto game winner if the duel drags on for too long. So Stelgar Officious Mutation, his stats are crap. 20 health, 10 courage, 15 power, 30 wisdom, 25 speed, and then water, which is like one of the worst elements for an Underworlder. But the key thing is, at the end of every turn, or if I remember it, at the end of each turn, you put a growth counter on him. For each growth counter on him, he gets 10 to every stat and energy. So, just 2 turns, oh hey, that's 20 more energy. 3 turns, 30 more energy. 4 turns, 40 more energy. You see where this goes. The longer the duel goes, the stronger this thing gets, and honestly, with him in the back, that is just really scary for your opponent, because they gotta get to him super quick. And actually, in that duel, you'll see that like my friend tried to one-shot him with a cannon casualty. I have music to cover for that, so this card really, really helps him out, makes it to where honestly, this guy is just really, really stupid. Honestly, the longer the duel goes, the more likely you are going to win with this. So, finally, I have the Mind Clasp. So the Mind Clasp is a very interesting card. So what this does is when an effect controlled by an opponent reduces any of equipped creature's disciplines, Mind Clasp deals 5 damage to target engaged creature. This card's okay, honestly. So the main reason why I played this is to make it to where, since he's going to be gaining so many disciplines and going up, my opponent might try to reduce his disciplines. This makes it to where, oh hey, they tried to do that. Yeah, sure, it's going to happen anyways, but hey, I'm going to get to deal 5 damage to a creature as well. So really, honestly, it's going to be able to help mitigate his any potential losses to him that your opponent might try to do. But however, honestly, what I really want for him is something that can like prevent targeting. But the only card that I can think of that prevents targeting from like music and stuff, so that I don't have to worry about people trying to one-shot him with a cannon and casualty, is that one shard. I think it's like the Zaya Mind Probe shard. I can't remember exactly what it's called. But that only makes it to where the equipped creature can't be targeted by music that's casted by a creature of lower wisdom than the creature that it's equipped to. And this guy has 30 wisdom, so yeah, that's not going to help very much. So the Mind Clasp is pretty good, kind of like mitigator for that. Now then, for the attacks, of course I play a standard 20. First up, I play 2, god dang it, what's the Consuming Flame. I almost called it Condescending Flame. So, it's a 1-drop 15 for fire, really, really good card. If I had a Chaos to Fierce, whenever Chaos to Fierce would use this, it'd be 25 damage right then and there, plus 5 from the File Driver, which would be 30 damage, just a 1-drop. That's insane. That's higher than Primal Smash, which is just insane. And then I got Air Soul. Almost everybody in this deck has air, so yeah, this covers that as well. Then Hurricane, 10 damage. Yeah, sure, I lose air until end of turn, but I usually use it as a battle ender. Cemetery Slam, a lot of my creatures have a lot of different elements, so this is a good 0-drop. It's one of my favorite 0-drops, actually, because it just is really good. A lot of elements are played in this deck, so they're common elements too, fire, air, and earth. Then also I have 1 Before the Storm. And this card is a 4 cost, but it's 15 base, 15 air, and then if you have air, this card counts as the first attack. So it's really, really good with Takinon, because Takinon will do an extra 10 damage with it, so that's, oh god, 40 damage, and then, oh hey, like, this card, it doesn't matter if it's the first attack or not, because it's always treated as the first attack whenever used with a creature of air. One Plasma Arrow. If I had to, I would totally play 2 in this deck. It's such a good card. One Fire Ram. Honestly, if you have 2 Plasma Arrows, switch out a Fire Ram for a Plasma Arrow. That Plasma Arrow is such an infinitely better card. Ferocity! One of my favorite cards from the original set. At least one of my favorite attack cards from the original set. Really, really good attack card overall. One Inferno Gust, one Ember Swarm, one Mind Sink just for lowering stuff. One Carnywin. I only have one of this, but it's a funny little card. So it does 10 base damage. It's a 1-drop, and then it either does 10 damage to your creature or 10 damage to your opponent's creature, depending on how many creatures are out on the field. Really, really funny card. I love the whole Carnival of Confusion card series kind of thing, and this card is one of the I think the only attack that's based off of that. But it's a really funny card. I like it. It's also a decent 1-drop. One Combustion Carnage. This card I mainly don't like using. Honestly, if I had a better 0-drop for fire, I would totally use that. But this card, okay, so it does 0 damage, 0 fire, but however, if your creature has fire, you can tribute off another monster to deal 20 damage. So the cool thing about that is that it's 20 damage. You can do a crap ton of damage. The downside is, I do not have Underworld Song of Revival, so I gotta really pick and choose when I want to do that. So this card, it kind of sort of plays off of how Underworlders used to really, really love tributing off and sacrificing their own creatures. But however, they kind of sort of dropped that gimmick after a while, but still kind of reference it here and there. If I ever get an Underworld Song of Revival, I'm going to be totally more relaxed on actually playing this card. But it's still a pretty good card for a game ender or a battle ender or fight your creature. Like maybe your opponent does something to it so it's basically useless, and then, oh hey, you're like, oh well, might as well just get rid of it and then just do 20 damage to my opponent. One Spirit Gust, high courage for everybody, so literally everybody can play it. One Muge's Edge. It's one of my favorite 0-drops because it just pumps up all of your stats. And sadly, we don't play any Muges in this deck, so yeah, it's not like it's going to be doing any 10 damage. But still, being able to just up all my creatures' stats by 10 for that one turn is pretty nice. And then Vapor Wipeout, just in case if something happens, or also to give Kaor Air and Stelgar Air. So this is really, honestly, a really good card for this deck. If I had another one, I probably would play it, but oh well. Only so much you can do. Now into the locations. I play 2 Stone Pillar, really good card. Makes it where the first Underworld music card that you would play is reduced by 1 for the cost. A really good card overall. Initiative is Wisdom though, which is like the stupidest thing for an Underworld location. Underworlders do not have good wisdom, so I don't know why they put that there, but oh well. The Pits. I play 2 of it. It's really good. Initiative is fire. Everybody has fire. And then your engaged, both engaged creatures gain outperform power by 5 and damage dealt by speed attacks are reduced by 5. So it doesn't really matter too much. The main thing is that initiative. Everybody in this deck, except for Stelgar, has fire, but that's not really too much of a thing that we got to worry about. So it really does also just allow you to basically almost always attack first. Next up is the Magma Dam. Initiative is air. Creatures without fire have Recklessness 5. Again, like, everybody has fire, so you don't have to worry about it. And almost everybody has air, so again, you'll always have initiative almost. 1 Stormgrounds. 1 Force of Life during, oh god, Echolus. 1 The Madness Chamber. 1 Ralphasak. The Ocean with No Water, and then that is it. That's all my locations. Again, most of these cards I play for the initiative, a lot of them also have really benefactory effects for the deck. Now then, on to the music. First and foremost, we got the Nocturne of the Elements. Just being able to get rid of my opponent's elements is really, really nice. Very, very good card for, yeah. Yeah, very, very good card overall. I like it a lot. I was just double checking the effect because I honestly haven't read it that much. I've never actually had to use it, but it's really nice being able to get rid of my opponent's elements. And then that also, of course, will trigger this card as well for Blades, which is really, really nice. And then we have 1 Howl of the Wind. This gives 1 target creature air, or if it already has air, it gives it air 5. So really, honestly, it really depends on like what's going on in the duel. Like, oh hey, all my creatures that needed air have already died, but oh hey, I can give my Takinon air 5, which is really, really good. I like it quite a bit. Same thing with Discord of Flame. Honestly, this is mostly just simply to give Stelgar fire. Same thing with this to give him air. Really good cards overall. I love those elemental gaining musics. Next up is one of my healing musics. Target creature gains 15 energy and recklessness 5. Kind of annoying, but Final Fugue, I think that's how you pronounce this card, is really, really good card. I like it a lot, just being able to heal your creature and give it a slight amount of recklessness. Then one of my favorite generic musics, Carnivore's Keening, basically does the same thing, but 15 energy and 10 recklessness, which is kind of annoying, but still a really, really good card. Also, it just occurred to me they came out in the same set, which is probably one of the reasons why they have very similar effects. And then we got Decomposition, which is a target creature fails all discipline checks on attacks in place. Very, very funny card. I also love the flavor text on it. Really, really love it. This card is a really good card, especially if your opponent's playing a lot of discipline check cards, which they probably will be for their 0 attacks and stuff like that. Very, very good music overall. Again, what I would probably drop for the Underworld Song Revival, I would probably drop this, honestly, for the Underworld Song Revival. I cannot remember if that card is unique or not, but it would not surprise me if it is. So guys, that is the deck profile. Tell me guys think. If you have any ideas, recommendations, or suggestions for the deck, please leave a comment down below. I really, really love this deck. It's a lot of fun to play. Underworlders are definitely, like, honestly, I love all the tribes, but Underworlders have always kind of had a special place in my heart due to their artwork. Kaor is just awesome, Kiru is awesome, Takinam is awesome, and total waifu. That's a joke, by the way. I hope, like, honestly, some people take it way too seriously whenever I say that. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a great day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And also, I want to give a quick little shout out to my friend, Judah Del Rio, over on Facebook. He also just recently started a chaotic-based YouTube channel. He really, really wanted to do it after seeing my chaotic stuff. And also, he's looking for people who play chaotic in New York, because he's dying to play chaotic with people. Like, I could not speak for a second there. So go and check out his channel. I hope he will link it to me, and if he does, I will be sure to link it down below in the comments and as well as the description. And again, guys, thank you all for watching. Have a great day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. See you all later, and peace out.